Well, for those of you not living in the Golden State, you may not attach too much meaning to a restaurant called the French Laundry. You probably just think the French Laundry is a place to go get your clothes dirtier, but that's not what it is. It is, in fact, a restaurant, and it is here in California, and it is now infamous because Governor Gavin Newsom, after closing down restaurants and forcing entire hundreds, if not thousands of businesses out of business, went to a little fundraiser dinner with some lobbyists at a restaurant called the French Laundry, and for $400 a plate, sat shoulder to shoulder, indoors, nobody wearing masks, and he got caught doing it. And when they denied that they were indoors, then somebody produced a photograph. So there you go. So the question really is for you two gentlemen, Steve Green and Scott Ott. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bill Whittle. Would you rather eat at the French Laundry, or would you rather eat at a place called Eat at Joe's? And the reason I'm asking is because now you can do both. Because where's the name? He's a great guy. I love this man already. Alex Jordan, I believe. Yes, is a guy who basically said, I'm going to rename my restaurant. Alex Jordan has a restaurant called Eat at Joe's down in Redondo Beach, but he's taken a large banner and put it over that gigantic sign of his. And the banner says, the French Laundry Patio Dining. And I think it's the best thing since sliced bread. And I think every single restaurant in California needs to do this right away. Steve, I admire this man very much, not just for his defiance of the ruling class and their second set of rules for them and the rest of us plebes, but I admire him because of what he's doing here. He says he's got an entire staff full of people. They are closing restaurants again. Just before Christmas, he says, my people are depending on me. He basically says, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, I'm paraphrasing him, but basically he's saying, what are they going to do? They're going to shut me down? They've already shut me down. And guys like this remind me of that woman with the nail salon a couple months ago back in, was it in Texas or so on? But I have to tell you, Steve, I think if every single restaurant, which is being the outdoor patio dining, which was in place for the entire summer, is now being shut down because Gavin Newsom has decided to shut it down. He shuts down wineries too, except for his own. But I think it would take a lot of nerve to shut down a restaurant called the French Laundry. I think this is the perfect form of civil disobedience. Got an opinion on this one?
Oh, so many. First of all, I just want to say, apparently Demolition Man got it wrong. In the future, all restaurants will be the French Laundry, not Taco Bell. Oh. So other than that, still a pretty solid little silly action flick. For those who don't know, the French Laundry is the foodie's mecca. If you're a foodie, you have to have at least one meal at the French Laundry before you die. Thomas Keller, the executive chef, is one of the great cooks of all time. And this restaurant is the place. And by the way, that $400 a plate dinner, I'm pretty sure that doesn't include the wine pairings. You're going to have to add up over the top. Now, to get a table at the French Laundry, you're going to have to call a year ahead. They take
or be governor.
Yeah, well, they take reservations a year in advance. Oh, let me tell you a little something about Thomas Keller before I get to that. My wife at the beginning of the lockdown signed up for that masterclass video subscription service where all the famous people who are the best at their work teach you how to do stuff. And I think it's $180 a year for this thing, although she got it at a discount that they were offering at the beginning of the thing. But I will tell you, whether we got it at a discount or not, it's worth $180 a year just to watch Thomas Keller make scrambled eggs. I swear to you, he's just that good, that interesting, and that skilled. He's an amazing chef. It breaks my heart that I haven't been to French Laundry yet. But as I said, you've got to call for your reservation a year in advance, and you don't know how many weeks of phone calls it's going to take trying to get that table for two or that four top that you've been waiting for half of your life, almost in my case. So I've really got to get on that. That said, I totally understand that there are people who have money and or connections and can come in front of the line. Think of the famous scene in Goodfellas where young mobster Henry Hill goes into the Copa through the back with his girlfriend, and he's tipping everybody. Everybody is getting like a $20 tip on his way in, snaking through the kitchen till he gets to the front of the stage, and the maitre d' is there to greet him. Oh, Mr. Hill. And people appear as if from nowhere with a fresh table right in front of the stage and silverware. They just set up a two-top for him and his girlfriend. So I understand that people with the money and the connections get to cut in front of the line at places that cater to the rich and the well-connected. That's fine. That's the way it is. The difference is Henry Hill might have been a gangster, but he wasn't a morally preening little snot who told me that I had to stay home, that my favorite restaurant had to close down so that he and his buddies could lord it over us. That he can do this and we can't. That the places he likes can stay open, but your local restaurant can't. That is not America. We are not serfs. They are not our lords. And it's high time we made him stop acting like it, because this has got to stop, Bill.
I wonder where he gets that attitude from, Scott. His aunt, as you well know, is Nancy Pelosi, and she would certainly never do anything like this, never go and violate, the absolute lockdown orders without which the entire state of California will perish and take advantage of a private facility and walk around without a mask. That would be unspeakably hypocritical for her to do that. But Steve hit a word that I think really is an important part of this whole thing. What this guy is doing here is Alex Jordan and his restaurant is saying there's a difference between foodies and people who've got to eat. You know, we've got people here that have to eat. We have our employees have got to eat. They're not going to be having $400 dinner plates. They've got to have breakfast. They've got to have milk for their kids. I've got to pay them. I employ them. And I have been locked out by a hypocrite and a liar and a mean-spirited, stupid man who absolutely enjoys nothing but this. This is his entire life. And this business of the foodies versus the people who've got to eat is the story of COVID-19 in a nutshell. What say you?
Yeah, I think that, first of all, I think this is brilliant satire. I mean, this is kind of writ large in real ways that, my previous life of writing political satire can't touch. By putting this banner up over his sign, I think he does the equivalent of the story I think I first heard from Newt Gingrich about when Poland was emerging from communism and people began putting up signs in shop windows that said 2 + 2 = 4. And I think that this is a brilliant political statement, but it's not really political in the sense of partisanship. It's a brilliant political philosophy statement that says that the leaders of the people are not better than the people they lead, and that if the governor, if he can trust his own judgment to go to a restaurant and do that the way he pleases, then the people should be trusted to use their own judgment to go to a restaurant, and the restaurant owner should be trusted to use his judgment. Because I don't begrudge Gavin Newsom to go to any restaurant that he can afford to go to, and that's fine. And if he wants to go there and observe social distancing with his friends, that's great. If he doesn't want to observe social distancing, and neither do his friends, that's their choice. It's a stupid choice, but that's his choice. What is the problem with this is not that Gavin Newsom goes to a restaurant. It's that he says one thing to us and then does another thing in his own life. And where do you go with a lantern to find one honest politician? I feel like you just need to walk back and forth across the land looking for an authentic person who is willing to be ruled by the same laws that he imposes upon others.
Well, if you're looking for an honest politician and you're starting in California, my advice would be to take your lantern and start walking east. That would be my first advice. The second thing I would say is this level of this is beyond hypocrisy now. This is beyond hypocrisy. It's even beyond mockery. It's contempt is what it is. It's contempt on the part of Gavin Newsom. Contempt. And I was here for the Gray Davis recall. I've been here since 1988. And the level of hatred and anger that I am seeing towards Gavin Newsom is beyond anything I have ever seen in this country in terms of how people feel about him personally. I used to wonder, I really did. it wondered me for quite a long time why Gavin Newsom, when he was mayor of San Francisco, would allow what is arguably the most beautiful city in America to degenerate to the point where you needed an iPhone app to tell you where to avoid the concentrations of human feces and needles on the streets. Why would he do that? Why? I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. And all of California's turned that way. There are homeless people under every single overpass in Los Angeles now. They're just entire cities here. Why? Why would he do it? I couldn't figure it out. And then suddenly I did figure it out. What's the point of being born royalty if you don't get to lord it over the serfs? They're going to have to walk among the feces, but I don't have to. And if they don't have to walk among the feces and they live in a beautiful city and they can go to nice restaurants and they get to drive nice cars, then what do I get that makes me better than them due to my royal birth? It's all about the contrast. It's all about the contrast. He cannot do anything to make his life better, so he has to make other people's lives worse. And this is how you get things like Gavin Newsom declaring that wineries must be closed because of COVID-19, except for his winery. And he's so open and brazen about it. He's just absolutely enjoying this and mocking it. And I will tell you, Gavin, I'm just telling you from one Californian to another, buddy, you are playing with actual fire here. You are arbitrarily, without any basis in science or fact whatsoever. You're not only moving the goalposts, there are no goalposts. You are costing people their livelihoods, their lives. You are causing people suicide. You are causing people to lose businesses they put their entire lives into. You're causing people to lose businesses that they put the last month of their life into and have been waiting to do their entire life. And if you think you're going to continue going on with this, I think you're going to be in for a very big surprise. Very big surprise. The problem in California is the problem with America. It's just a little bit further down the road. And that is that the government no longer fears the people. That's the problem. That's the problem we have as a country. And that is the definite problem we have as the state. And I get a feeling that this is going to be changing pretty quick. Because this kind of contempt and this kind of aristocratic royalty is not going over well with the working people in overwhelmingly Democratic California. I think every single restaurant owner in the state of California needs to put up a banner that says French Laundry, patio dining, put it up right now and make them come and close you. As this hero, Alex Jordan, has to say, what else have you got to lose? You're going to close you anyway. Make them come and close you. Make them come and close the French Laundry restaurant and then get on the news we know where the news is, but then make as much noise as you can and ask them why your French Laundry had to be closed while the other French Laundry didn't, as if we don't know the answer. For Steve Green and Scott Ott, I'm Bill Whittle. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week on Right Angle.